Ladies and gentlemen, it has finally become time. We are going to start our first franchise of Madden on this channel, starting with, of course, Madden 19. I just got the game today. I've been playing around with sliders. I did a few practice games, and I think I'm ready to start. Now, for a little bit of honesty up front. To be honest with you, I'm not a great Madden player. I'm okay. I'm not great. All-Pro is too easy for me, and I tend to struggle quite a bit on All Madden. Now, with that said, I will be playing on All Madden. I worked on the sliders. I did a few practice games. I only won one of them. But this franchise is more for me to have fun. I want to try and keep it as realistic as possible. But to be fair, I also don't play. I don't play a whole lot of football, but I don't watch a whole lot of football. Not because I don't want to, but because I can't. And some of the intricacies about football, as far as contracts and what to trade for who, you know, that kind of thing. I'm not savvy to that kind of thing, and so with that said, some of the trades I make might seem a little out there, they might seem a little weird. My goal is to make the best possible team I can make without making this incredibly unrealistic. Another honesty up front, I can't play defense that well. I don't play well with safeties, linebackers, corners, none of that. So you will be seeing me play primarily defensive line. I suck at playing defense, and I know that. I'm also not the greatest play caller in the world. I kind of play what looks cool, and I tend to use some plays that work for me in situations where I need a big play. I'll try to be a little bit more variant with my play calling in this franchise, just because I know you guys don't want to see like the same play done like 12 times in one game. Let's get started. The team we will be using is this one, the Green Bay Packers. And the reason I'm choosing the Green Bay Packers, I know they're not a horrible team, I know they're not a fantastic team, but I figured for my first Madden franchise on YouTube, I wanted to play with the team that I tend to watch and like the most. So we will be starting in the preseason, and we will be playing as an owner. And the reason we'll be playing as an owner is primarily because I like the idea of being able to hire and fire coaches. I think that's kind of a cool little thing you can do with owners. I will not be relocating the Green Bay Packers. And it's only fitting that the owner of the Green Bay Packers be the guy who made me fall in love with football. And you're probably going to know right away from probably the first letter I type who it's going to be. And that is Brett Favre. And I might be spelling Brett wrong. In fact, I probably am. But I was really never privy to how to spell his first name. But we are going to spell his last name properly, which ironically is probably the harder of the two to spell. But there we go. So Brett Favre will be the new GM of the Packers. Now, in this continuity, I can't think of the guy's name who took over for Ted Thompson, but he will not take up Ted Thompson. And in this particular continuity, it's going to be Brett Favre. Now, I will be commentating this in a role-play type fashion, so I will be a commentator when the games are playing. So, i.e., if Aaron Rodgers throws a pick, I'm going to blame Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to blame the receiver. It's going to be my fault. I know it's going to be my fault. Let's get it out of the way right now. Alright, so for settings, we're going to be playing on Madden difficulty, game speed normal, game style simulation, league type. I'm not even sure what this is. Oh, okay, that doesn't really matter for us. Instant starter doesn't really matter, so we're going to turn that off. Trade deadline will be on. Trade type enable all. Coach firing on. Salary cap is on. Relocation settings is going to be all. Everyone can relocate. So, and I find that interesting because it might be interesting to see what teams do actually end up relocating. I did a franchise in Madden 18 with a buddy of mine, and I was playing as the Los Angeles Chargers, and after the first season, they got relocated to the Chicago Tigers. So that was pretty interesting. We were turning pre-existing injuries off. That is one thing I won't do. I would much rather not have injuries going into the season. I'd rather have them occur. I like to have my whole team at the beginning of the season. Player progression frequency, I believe this for the CPU. We'll do that every 4 weeks. That's how I've always done it. For preseason, we are going to use 8-minute quarters. But, disclaimer, the preseason will not be played on YouTube. I will be playing it on my Twitch channel, probably either Tuesday night or Wednesday night. Around, I would probably say 7 or 8 o'clock at night. We might do like the first 2 games on Tuesday, second 2 games on Wednesday, depending on how it goes. So keep that in mind if you want to see that. Minimum play clock time will be 15 seconds. I think that works for me. And for the most part, season experience will have full control. The only thing I typically don't take control over is injury management, but I think for the sake of this YouTube, I will. Mainly because I usually don't start people when they're hurt anyway, and the game usually doesn't, so I usually don't even worry about it. I think it auto, so it's one less thing for me to worry about. But for the sake of this, we will have it on manual. If you guys want me to make it automatic, let me know in the comments. I'll change it. It's just something else to go over. So yeah, pretty much everything else we'll be doing manually. Tutorial pop-ups will be off, and fill rush will be off. Like, I don't really care about that stuff. There's good old Mike McCarthy. Now, first things first. Now we're going to start getting into the actual franchise nitty-gritty here. I don't know if I'm going to keep Mike McCarthy. In real life, I don't dislike him as a coach. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. I believe in Mike McCarthy in real life. In the game, we'll see. There are other coaches in the league that I like more, and if they get fired, I might move on from Mike McCarthy. Training I'm going to do off screen or during my streams for preseason, so we're not going to worry about training right now. So I guess for the first time, let's take a look at the team. And I have some concerns. I've already looked at this team quite a bit when I was doing my practice games, and there are quite a few things about this team I don't like. I also find it kind of weird that Rodgers is not a scheme fit for this team. Left tackle David, I could never pronounce his name. I think it's Bakhtiari, is I think how you pronounce it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not going to be the kind of guy who's going to be fret over if I pronounce somebody's name wrong. If I get it wrong, just tell me. Don't be mean about it, and I'll figure out how to pronounce it. But don't make a big deal if I pronounce names wrong. Again, I'm not a savvy, knowledgeable person about players' names, so you're going to see me a lot of time probably butcher names, forget names, not know who somebody is. I am going to kind of try to keep track of that stuff so that I know who people are when I'm doing commentary, but I might not always know that, just so you know. I like him. 97 overall. Can't really go too wrong with that. He's also still pretty young, so I think we're probably going to keep him around for quite a long time. His ratings are fantastic. His run block could be a little bit better, but Packers aren't really a running team, and I don't typically run that much, and I'm not too great at running in this game in particular with the new running mechanics. We'll see how much the run block is really going to matter, but even then, his run block is still 81, still pretty solid. Next up, we have Lane Taylor. We might want... I think he'll be an okay solution for our first season, but I don't think he's a long-term solution. His run block is, again, that's really kind of not a major point for me right now, just because I'm not sure how much we'll be running this season. We'll probably be passing more, but even then, his pass block is really only passable in my opinion anyway. I prefer to have 80-ish pass block, maybe mid-80s would be probably where I'd be extremely happy, but I like him to be at least low 80s, and he's only mid-70s, so that's kind of a problem for me. Like I said, I don't think he's a long-term solution for the offensive line of this team, but I think he'll work for the first season. I'm not planning on doing anything with him yet. We'll see how he turns out, but he's already 5 years in. He's from Oklahoma State. I'm kidding. But, yeah, so we'll see. Corey Linsley, again, not sure if he's going to be a long-term solution, but I think right now he'll be alright. His ratings, again, high 70s for pass block. Okay, I can survive that. We'll see how he does. But again, not sure if he's a long-term solution. Now, here is where my first major issue is here with Kofi Amachia. And I realize that it's only his second year in the NFL, but 67 overall is not going to cut it. And obviously no one who's backing him up, like Lucas Patrick, no one here is going to be able to really fit that need for me. Now, this Madison guy is a scheme fit, but there's really nothing to write home about when it comes to Kofi Amachia. So he'll probably be the first replacement I want to make before we start preseason. I'm going to look for a left guard. Really, anyone would be better than him. That's 70 and above. Even for a temporary, 1 year sign. For that, Brian Bulaga, again, first of all, he's an Iowa boy, which, so am I. And I like Brian Bulaga, but he's pushing 30. So we probably only have a couple seasons with him, which is fine. His pass block's right where I want it. His run block's decent. And then, of course, we have Jimmy Graham, the new tight end for the Packers. He's a veteran. He's decent. I use him quite a bit in the exhibition games I did. He's not great at run blocking, though. So, I mean, again, I don't know how much I'm going to plan on running the ball. And usually, for those stretch plays, it'll be the second string tight end who does a lot of that blocking anyway. Which I'm not even sure if Mercedes Lewis, I'm not even sure what his run block even is. It's significantly better. So we should be alright if we try to run the ball to the outside. But again, I'm not great at running in this game. I'm not sure how much running we're going to be doing. And then at wide receiver 1, we have Davante Adams. Excuse me. Davante Adams is really good wide receiver. He is in real life. I think they did him justice in this game as an 88. So I think he's going to be probably our number 1 guy moving forward. And then we have the Ty Montgomery, Jamal Adams combo at running back. Ty Montgomery, of course, used to be a wide receiver. I'm not sure what his overall would be at wide receiver in this game. It would be an interesting thing to find out. But he's alright. 81 overall for a team that's not going to run that much. He'll be probably basically used as a third or fourth receiver on the field a lot of the time anyway. So I like Ty Montgomery. I always have. So yeah, I mean, we got Ty Montgomery. We got Jamal Williams, who is decent. I think he's got some time to develop here. He's only 1 year in, so we got time to develop Jamal Williams. And of course, we picked up Aaron Jones last year as well. So, and then another one of my concerns is here at fullback. Again, I don't know how much I'll really be using fullbacks in this scheme, but probably not as much as I would if he were decent. I'm not going to look at picking up a fullback in free agency or through trading. I don't really see a point. But honestly, if it comes down to it, he might end up being cut anyway. I know he wasn't in real life. I know they probably wouldn't cut him in real life, but I'm just not a huge fan of Ripkowski, to be honest with you, and his backup's not much of a better solution either. So I'm not even sure these guys are going to make it to the regular season. And of course, wide receiver 2, we got Randall Cobb. He's a veteran at this point. He's probably got a couple more years in him before he starts to regress. I'm okay with that, but maybe in the future we'll be looking for his replacement, or maybe we've already found him. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers, of course, the bad man. Now, here is the interesting part of this franchise, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do it. I want to see Aaron Rodgers get another ring. Will that happen in this franchise? Chances are, probably not, because like I said, I'm not that great at Madden, and it's going to be hard for me to get good enough with this team over the course of this franchise to feel comfortable with probably making a Super Bowl run. Now, with that said, it's still Aaron Rodgers, and I'm going to keep him as long as I can. So, he's in his 13th year. Not sure how many years he's got left in him. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this team once Aaron Rodgers retires, and that's the story that I'm basing this franchise off of, is what's going to happen when the bad man is gone. But he's a 99 overall. He's the best quarterback in the league. I don't care what anyone tells you. You could make an argument for Drew Brees, but to me, Aaron Rodgers is the guy. And that's really all there is to it. There's not really a lot to say about Aaron Rodgers other than he's Aaron Rodgers. Moving on to our defense. And this is where my major concern for this team is. Now, you look at it, on paper, it's not that bad. Well, first of all, there's one thing I kind of forgot to do. Since there's no current injuries, let's actually see if Jake Ryan is able to play. I'm pretty sure he is, and that might actually already solve him in a linebacker problem. Yes, he can. So, middle linebacker 2, right there. So, let's just kind of auto-reorder this for right now. That's what I want. Alright, we have HaHa Clinton-Dix. HaHa Clinton-Dix, I think, is a really good safety. I'm looking forward to see what he does for us in this franchise. No desire to trade him. No interest in trading him or releasing him. He's sticking around. That's my guy. Nick Perry. He's decent. I mean, his overall's 82 in this game. I am kind of neutral to him in real life. Like, he's never really been all that standout of a Packer for me. I know who he is. So, I mean, he's got that going for him. But is Nick Perry our long-term solution at right outside linebacker? He's 28 years old. I don't know. Blake Martinez. I like Blake Martinez. I think he's got a long way to go. As far as I think one day he's going to be really, really good, both in this game and in real life. So, yeah. I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say about him. He's got decent stats all around. Good pursuit, good acceleration, decent speed for a linebacker. His hit power is alright. His zone coverage is trash, but, you know, we'll figure that out. And then Jake Ryan. Now, I had Jake Ryan on my team last year. I did a New York Giants franchise and I ended up picking up Jake Ryan at one point. Yeah, I mean, Jake Ryan, I think he has a lot of potential. I'm a little bit biased toward him because of what he did for me in my franchise last year. So we'll see where he goes. I'm looking forward to see what I can do with him. And now one of the most controversial players, in my opinion, on the Green Bay Packers. A lot of people think he's not worth the money he's paid. A lot of people think he's over the hill, that he doesn't have it anymore. To that I say you are wrong. I think Clay Matthews is... he's not as good as he used to be. But I still think he's a really good outside linebacker. He's not as fast as he used to be. But at the same time, he's still a beast on the field. He still has that extra something that he needs. And to me, it's a travesty that he is not a captain on this team, so guess what? He is now. Now, obviously, Clay Matthews probably won't be with us very long in this series. So we'll be looking for a long-term solution at left outside linebacker because I don't know. We'll see how well Vince Beagle. I'm sure it's one of those two. I'm not sure how well he pans out, but 71 overall with him sitting behind Clay Matthews. We'll see. We'll see what happens with him, but I'm not too optimistic. Kentrell Bryce, I had free strong safety, and this is where one of my concerns is. Is he young? Sure, he's young, but is he good? For one season, maybe. We'll see what we can do with him in one season. I definitely think that he has potential, but I'm not convinced he's a solution for us. So we may or may not have him next season. Tramon Williams returning to the Packers after a few years. He actually won a league with the Packers. 35 years old. Was a beast back in his day. I don't know if he still is. 85 speed, 80 zone, or 80 man, 82 zone. He's decent. Again, not a long-term solution. We do got the rookie Jair Alexander as well. So we'll let him kind of sit behind Tramon Williams. And obviously Jair Alexander was seeing some playing time as well as the backup corner. We'll see how he pans out. I have a lot of hope for Jair Alexander. Mike Daniels. Now, I'm gonna point something out about Mike Daniels before this series even starts. No, my username is not based off Mike Daniels. In fact, I've been using the Mike Daniels name as a stage name since long before he was even on the Packers. And it's just very, very ironic that not only does he have a lot of similar interests to me, as far as I've heard him talk about Dragon Ball Z, I saw an interview where he was wearing a Pokemon shirt, but me and him also share a birthday, which is crazy hilarious. I love Mike Daniels. He's a hilarious player when he does interviews, and I definitely think, also we were born the exact same year as well, because he's 29, so am I. So, we're literally the exact same age. And, yeah, I mean, he's a decent player. Apparently, according to this, he's the third-ranked tight end in the league based on his overall, which is crazy to me. But, yeah, I mean, we're still 29. He's got a couple more years in him at right end before we got to worry about finding his replacement. But I would like to keep him as long as possible because I like Mike Daniels quite a bit. And then here at defensive tackle, we have Kenny Clark, who is still young. He's got some work to do. We could definitely up those finesse moves, definitely up those power moves, and I don't think we'll be able to do too much with the speed, but the power moves and finesse moves I would like to increase a little bit, make him much more of a impact player. I mean, he's already an 8 overall, so he's already decent. There's that. Mahal Wilkerson, former Jet. The thing is a former Jet. He's also a 28-year-old. Another end. I like Mahal Wilkerson. I had him in one of my franchises last year that I did. His moves aren't that great, but I feel like he's more of a run stopper than he is. So yeah, but for being a power rusher, as it says, I really don't feel like he's really gonna be too effective at power rushing because his power moves and finesse moves are kind of lackluster. I mean, his power moves are alright. They're 79. His finesse are not that great though, so we'll see how well he turns out. And of course, we have Kevin King. For some reason, I always thought his name was Kenny King. I actually found out today that his name was Kevin King. So, yeah, he's still young. Got a long way to go. I think he'll be alright. I definitely think that him and Jair Alexander will be fighting for that number 1 cornerback spot while Tramon Williams retires. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I think we'll be fine at corner for a while. Really, safety is my concern on defense. And J.K. Scott is the punter that the Packers picked up in the draft. So, waiting to see what he can do. Mason Crosby, of course, in my opinion, is the best kicker in the league. So, of course, he's getting up there in age, though. So, we'll see how much longer he plays for us. So, I definitely think that we are going to sign Richie Incognito. I think that's a good sign. What does our cap room look like? We got 31.5. I think Richie Incognito is a good sign. He'd be a good one-year solution for our right guard issues, so I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to sign Richie Incognito for 1 season. So let's edit him and move him to right guard. And I'm guessing he'll probably be at least roughly the same overall. Yep, he's still an 85. So right now he's a short-term solution to our right guard problem. So I think for right now, what we're gonna do is we're going to sign, and this might be an unpopular decision, but I think we're gonna sign TJ Ward for 1 season as well. I guess I'll show my gameplay sliders, which I still need to import. There we go. These are the sliders I'm going to play with. Again, you guys are probably going to see me and be like, wow, this dude's trash. You are 100% correct. But for this to be entertaining, this is kind of what we need. So, as far as penalties go, I just never really touched these that much. If you guys want me to do more with these penalty sliders, I will. But right now, I'm not going to mess with them. And I think we might lower takeoff power a little bit. But other than that, like that's going to be our sliders, I think, for this. So anyway, I think that's what we're going to call it here, guys. If there's any other signings you think I should make, if there's a trade you guys want to see me make, again, I won't see that until after I do my Twitch stream. So, this is going to be kind of a long video, but I'm really excited, if you guys couldn't tell, for this series. So, I'm just going to leave it at that. So, we will see you guys in week 1 of the regular season. If you want to check out the preseason, it'll be Tuesday or Wednesday night. So, hope to see you guys there, and we will see you later.